All right, Shalom Israel. Welcome back to Wednesday night class. And Salakia for starting a little late. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's fighting and staying strong. One thing we do know is that every time we come up on a Passover, what we do notice that the Most High does purge, and we have to survive whatever storm and hurdles that come our way. But just hope everybody keep fighting. We got that right around the corner. The rim's right around the corner. Shout out Shalom to Kawakab down in Guatemala. Shout out and Shalom to Stream of Wisdom, Houston, Rochester, Norfolk, Virginia, and brothers in California. Good to see brothers in California as well, doing well. Detroit, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Florida, and Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out Shalom to brothers in Atlanta. Keep fighting, and our prayers be with those that need those prayers also. Today the class is going to be called Don't Undermine Your Protection. All right, and it's geared towards the younger viewers, and that's what we want to. But hopefully we can get some wisdom out of it. But it's geared towards younger listeners, younger audiences, especially those in between years, teen years, young adult years. This whole topic is geared towards you, but as we will see, anybody can gain understanding and wisdom from this particular topic. But first and foremost, let's start with the first scripture, Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24.
God. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 24. And let us consider one another.
It says what?
Let us consider one another.
So this whole class is based on consideration. It's considering what would work or be suitable and what's necessary for young people to hear. Young in age or in understanding or in spirit. So everything that we're doing is about consideration. What else?
And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good work.
So we want to first preface this by saying we do love everybody. We love everybody in here that fights for Christ. We love you. That's what we do this work for. And for those that do this work on a daily basis, we know that it doesn't come with riches. It doesn't come with glory or vainglory and wealth. But what you do get rich is in experience, testimonies, faith, so on and so forth. But we want to preface this by saying we do love everybody, and we don't wish no harm on anybody. We want to provoke everybody to love and to learn to love one another. Read on.
Come, not forsaking the assembling.
It said, read it one more time for me. Hebrews 10 and 24.
Come, Hebrews 10 and 24. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and
what else?
And to good works.
Okay, so we want everybody to produce good works. So we want everybody to. We love everybody, and we want to push everybody to do good works. That's the whole purpose of this class. It said you can be better individuals for yourself, your household, your families, and your loved ones. All right? Read on.
Verse 25. Not forsaking the assembly.
And this is what we want more than anything, is to push our people in the right direction. He said, but what that takes is, it says you can't forsake the what?
The assembling of ourselves together.
It says we can't forsake the assembling of ourselves together. If we're going to do this to the best of our ability, if we're going to push each other to love and to do good works, you got to be around. You got to be around, and you got to come around, and you got to participate. You got to be involved. You can't love and push people to do good works too well from a distance. It helps when you have a body that you can actually feed off of and be around and motivate you and inspire you to do these things. So it's necessary, he says, that we do what?
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together.
He says, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, right? Now, some Israelites may not see the value of assembly. Some of us may not see the value of coming together. Some of us may not see the value of participating and being one body in one group, being organized. But that's not what the Bible is saying. It says, forsake not the assembling of what?
of ourselves together.
Some people want to pick and choose if this is applicable or applicable to them. They want to pick and choose and say, I'll decide and I'll determine when I'll come to the assembly.
Yeah.
I'll decide when I'll come around to the congregation or the body. I'll pick and choose when I feel comfortable and I'm ready to come together. But the whole purpose of coming together is out of love. The whole purpose of doing what we do every day is to push people to be better and promote good works. So it's not a punishment. It's not you're in trouble. I don't want to come because I don't want to feel like I'm in trouble. You're not in trouble. It's because we care about you. And the church should care about the people. Read on. Hold on. Stop right there. He says, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together. Go ahead.
As the manner of some is.
Because some people don't see the value in that. And that's why he says you can't be like those that choose not to come around and don't see the value of a body, of a congregation. So that some people, that's their manner. That's their style, or that's the kind of person that they are. Because manner has different meanings. Types, sorts, mode of operation, kinds, practices. Some people don't see the value in coming together. But if you want the best for your people, you got to promote your people to come together. Read on.
As the manner of some is, but exhorting one another.
It says we got to do what when we come together?
Exhorting one another.
We got to incite one another. We got to motivate one another. We have to push one another to do good works. You need somebody. That's why the scripture says iron sharpened what?
Iron.
Iron sharpened iron. You need somebody to sharpen you, push you, motivate you, incite you, propel you forward. It's hard to do it by yourself. It's not meant that you do it by yourself. Read on.
But exhorting one another, and so much the more.
It says, and as you can see, the closer we get to the end, the more exhortation that needs to happen. The more motivation and incitement. You need to be pushed even that much more. Go ahead.
And so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
As you see the coming of Christ, the second coming of Christ approaching, as the world starts to crumble and fall apart, Christ by the day is closer and closer to coming back and restoring Israel to glory and putting our people back on top, and also punishing the wicked. So we got to make sure that we esteem one another and motivate one another in the right direction. All right. So he said, especially in the last days, right?
God.
So let me get let that go. Let me get
So we're not supposed to forsake the assembling of ourselves, especially these last times.
Yeah, especially in these last days. Let me get these scriptures on here real quick. Give me 1 second. That was Hebrews chapter 10 and 24 and 25, right? That was both of them, right? All right. And then let's go to Proverbs 11 and 14.
God. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 14 reads.
Let me get it real quick. Okay, so I said what verse? Proverbs 11 and 14.
Chapter 11 and verse 14 reads. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Where no counsel is.
It says where no what?
Counsel is.
So the beauty of the assembly is, what do you get when you're in the assembly? When you're with the assembly,
Counsel.
you get counsel. That's one of the benefits of having a congregation, is that you're exposed and you have a whole lot of counsel available to you. He says, read it again, my Waller.
Come. Proverbs chapter 11 verse 14 reads. Where no counsel is.
Go ahead.
The people fall.
So why would the Bible want us to come together?
So that we don't fall.
So we don't fall.
That's the logical choice.
Because failing is always in Ecclesiastes, in the Bible, chapter 4, verse 9, it says what? You got it?
Ecclesiastes 4 and 9.
Uh-huh. Hold where you at, Bob Waller.
In Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9. 2 are better than 1.
What does the Bible say?
2 are better than 1.
It says 2 are better than what?
1.
I hope you understand this. And I'm gonna try to keep this class as simple as possible. Having an additional person, an additional set of eyes, an additional set of ears, have an additional mind frame to oversee your well-being is very detrimental and beneficial to you. He says 2 is better than what?
Better than 1.
Read.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
They can multiply their strength, and they can accomplish more than just one person by themselves. So you can always do more when you have an additional help, an assistant. Read.
Verse 10. For if they fall,
It says, for if they fall, what happens?
the one will lift up his fellow.
So when you're in a congregation and you're in an assembly, if you have the unfortunate situation where you fall, or you fall behind, or you slip, or there's an issue, he says the other can do what?
The one will lift up his fellow.
In a congregation, you have someone there to lift you back up in case you fall. That's the benefit of having an abundance of individuals around you, so that in case something happens, you're defended, you're assisted, you're not alone. There's a benefit to the assembly. There's a benefit to the body. Read.
But woe to him that is alone.
Woe means what?
Destruction.
Woe means destruction. If you didn't know that, W-O-E, woe means destruction. So how does the Most High look at individualism?
Destruction.
It's the destruction of people.
You have the propensity to be destroyed.
Self-destruct.
Open for attack.
Yeah, you're vulnerable. When you're by yourself, you're vulnerable. So he says, woe to him that's what?
But woe to him that is alone.
Why?
When he falleth.
Why? Does it say you will never fall?
Nope.
No, it don't say you'll never fall. You're going to fall sometime in life. But it's good to have an individual there to help you back up, pick you back up. That's the beauty of having a congregation in the body. He says, for when he fall, read.
For he hath not another to help him up.
You don't got no help. When you isolate yourself, you're by yourself, you're an individual, you forfeit your help. The title of this class is called Don't Undermine Your Protection. That's why it's named as such. Because there's a protection that the Most High is providing all of us by having each other in a congregation and an assembly. And there's benefits to it. Multiple benefits to it. Proverbs, my Waller. Read that again. Let that go, Amai. And we're going to get Ecclesiastes 7:25 right here. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14.
Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 14 reads, for no counsel is, the people fall,
After that.
but in the multitude of counselors.
It said, where what?
But in the multitude of counselors,
Go ahead.
there is safety.
So when the Most High gives us an assembly, a congregation, a body of believers to function with, what is he giving us?
Safety.
He's giving us safety, man. It's for your own benefit. It's for your own detriment. It's for your own advantage that you not be alone. It has multiple benefits. It's a multi-layered discussion, because there's benefits on all levels of being in a body. Because there's always something that you don't know how to do. There's always something that you're not good at. And there's always somebody there has been where you've been or understands what you don't understand. There's so many advantages and benefits to having a body.
There's a helping hand of it.
All the time. It's just not a matter of if you fall, it's just a matter of when you fall. Because there's not going to always, times are not always going to be in your favor. Situations are not always be, conditions are not going to be in your favor. But there's important, very critical times when we're going to Ecclesiastes 7:25. There's very important times all across the board of when it's beneficial to have a congregation on assembly. Specifically here, read this in Apocrypha. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 25.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 25.
We got a question. What if you can't actually get to be around the body due to living distance out of state? Shalom. Our recommendation, as always, is to stay in constant communication. The scriptures say to do good and communicate and forget what? Forget not. For with such sacrifices, the Most High is what? Well pleased. He's well pleased with communication. So if you don't have the luxury of having a congregation and a body around you, stay in communication. Most definitely. It's a sacrifice, but the Most High is pleased with it. All right. So one of the I would say it's fundamental. It's a priority. It's mandatory that you have a congregation when you're dealing with these scenarios. Read this right here. Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 25.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 25. Marry thy daughter.
Especially when you're dealing with what?
Marriage.
Man, if you're dealing with marriage and you're isolated and you don't have help, you don't have assistance, you don't have insight, you don't have an aid,
Further experience?
you don't have experience, you don't have protection, you got to have an assembly. This is mandatory. That if you consider marriage, that you not do that by yourself. He's going to explain. It's not. This is a very serious, no laughing matter when it comes to making a decision to choose a lifelong partner. He says what?
Marry thy daughter.
Go ahead.
And so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
He said this is a what?
Weighty matter.
He said this is a weighty matter. This is a heavy matter. This is a circumstance that requires focus, examination. It requires investigation. It requires some insight. You got to put on your your looking glasses. You got to look deep. You got to put on your bifocals. You got to examine people. You have to get advice when it comes to this. He said this is a weighty matter. Give me Titus chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. Picking partners is serious. It's not like I can get a job and after 3 months you don't like the job, you just quit and get you another one. I don't like this job, give me another job. It's not like that in marriage, man. I don't like this person, give me another one. Or I got me one, I'm finna give me a side job. I got my full-time job.
Yeah.
Then I got a side job.
Side hustle.
Yeah, I got a side hustle. I need a side husband, a side wife.
Work husband.
Yeah, work husband. Because that's popular now in America. Yeah, very popular and ridiculous. But read that right there, Titus chapter 2, verse 1 and 2.
Titus chapter 2, verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine.
It said when we're talking about marriage, he says, man, we got to be talking about things that become as what?
Sound doctrine.
It has to be correct doctrine, complete doctrine. It has to come from the right teaching. You have to get the right teaching when it concerns marriage. You just can't go get married off a whim or off a feeling or off a tingle or off of some butterfly effect. You know, just somebody I get butterflies. That's a sign that the Most High is showing me because I get butterflies when I'm around this person. No, man, crazy. It's ridiculous. You have to get the right teaching when you're dealing with marriage. You have to get the right. It says sound doctrine. Sound means complete, whole, unbroken. It's effective. You got to get the right teaching concerning these things. He says, but do what?
It says, but speak thou the things which become sound doctrine.
Read.
That the aged men be sober.
It says, because aged men, you want to be clear-minded. You want to be clear. The Most High requires, especially for individuals that are aged, experience. You got to be clear about what you're doing. Sober means clear, unadulterated. That means I'm not just emotional. I'm not doing this off emotion. Or I'm not just doing this out of lust. I'm very clear about what it is that I'm doing. He said, but elders specifically have to speak things that's what?
Sober.
Sober? What else?
Grave.
You know what grave means? Serious. But it also means honest. Because that's what people are not when it comes to picking partners. They're not honest. Because they pick people based off their particular perspective about how they feel, which may not be true to the character of that other individual, or the qualities of that other person may not be honest to you in what you see and what you thought you saw when you're deciding to unite yourself with somebody. Yes, sir.
Infatuation.
It can't be based off infatuation. It says it's got to be honest. Listen to the words the Most High is using for the qualities of character that He's expecting from aged individuals. Good teaching, that's sound, that's whole, that's clear-minded, unadulterated, that's honest and serious. Because when you're dealing with marriage, we read earlier that it is a weighty what?
Matter.
It is a heavy matter. It is a serious matter. It's not to be played with. It's not to be just a fling. There's no such thing as a fling, a side person, a bust down, whatever people call it. This is a serious thing. Read on.
Temperate.
It says temperate. What else?
Sound in faith, in charity, and patience.
So there's attributes that the Most High is expecting out of elders. But if you're not an elder, you need to get with these elders. That's going to give you serious advice, sober advice.
That's to your benefit.
That because when you're not sober,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily see the red flags until after the fact. It's always later. They say hindsight is 20/20. It's always after the fact things become more clear. Man, this person was tripping. Man, this person didn't love me. Oh man, you know what? This was just infatuation. This was lust. It wasn't really built on anything solid. It wasn't built on a real foundation. It wasn't standing on anything. Oh, it was just based on, favors. You do me a favor, I do you a favor. It wasn't real. It wasn't true. It wasn't long-standing. But this is what he's expected. Listen to the language that he's expected from elders. But if elders have to be this way, and he's expecting the ones that are in the congregation to also have certain attributes. Read on.
Verse 3. The aged woman
It
likewise.
says, and aged women likewise. So the same attributes that an aged man possess, the Most High is expecting the same attributes from an aged woman. Serious. Sound doctrine. Teaching sound doctrine. Honest to people. Not lying to themselves. Those same attributes are required on both sides. Because the Most High is expecting those elders to pass that doctrine down to the younger generation. Let that go. Give me Proverbs chapter 9. And I want you to read verse 6.
Come.
He says, but read that one more time. Ecclesiastes 7:25.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 25. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter. But give her to a man.
It says, but when you do decide to marry thy daughter, which is a serious occasion, you got to be honest. You got to be clear-minded when you're picking partners. He says, and when you do decide to pick and say, okay, this is a prospect. This person has potential. But what are you basing it off of? What are you basing this prospect off of? Is it because they have a job? Is it because is there certain looks?
Let's wait.
Yeah. Read that.
Read the scripture one more time.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Marry thy daughter.
Marry thy daughter. That's a transaction. It's a righteous transaction. You're exchanging something. You're giving something you put your whole life into, your whole spirit into, it should not be a stranger. It shouldn't be, right? Read.
Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
Now, the word weighty means severe. The word weighty means severe. Definition of severe. It says severe, unreasonably strict or exact, giving no indulgence to faults or errors, as severe government. I mean, you can't make a mistake because the person that suffers is who?
Yeah.
The children. Two people come together that are light, not serious, or not tethered to the scriptures, means the child has to suffer their lack of discretion. This is why the Most High is so severe or exact. Everybody complains about their parents and what they went through when my parents did this and that. Well, that's partially because of marriage practices that weren't based off the scriptures. So we're trying to prevent suffering and prevent people having regret and distaste for their life in their youth.
What if he's just my friend?
Scripture says, the definition says, giving no indulgence to faults or errors. Friendship's good, but does this friendship fit the necessary biblical standards for a marriage? Does it match? Does this match the same? You can't put a square into a round hole, right? Does it fit?
Or if it's just your friend, do you do the same thing with all your friends?
You shouldn't, bro. All my friends,
No.
you got 5 husbands then.
Yeah. So it's more than just that. Because then it's not exact.
Come on.
Then it's not honest. But we like to call things, put titles on things that are untrue.
I made one mistake. Also, this right here. It says, number 6, weighty. It says strictly methodical. Strictly methodical. I mean, there's a biblical method to how the Most High puts families together.
Yep.
So
And what he's expecting
Yeah.
out of the marriage, as far as the marriage partner. Read on.
Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter.
Go ahead.
But give her to a man of understanding.
It said, but do what?
But give her to a man of understanding.
It said, but when you decide to do this, you got to make sure that this is a man of what?
Understanding.
You got to make sure it's a man of understanding. Now, can you see understanding from a distance? Can you see understanding on the surface?
No.
Because you know what? People hide, internalize their real self, their real feelings. They internalize their real behavior. They put on a front.
Yeah.
And they put on a show. And it's a costume. And it's what I want you to see. It's not about who I really am. It's about what I want you to see.
You're not the person I met.
That's always the favorite. Well, that's because you didn't really get to see what they were about. Because when you do give a person in marriage, you got to make sure that this individual, like the Bible is saying, is a man of what?
Understanding.
It says a man of understanding.
You're not the person that I married. I wonder why.
You know, when you look at why this is so important, let's go to Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 5. 9 and verse 5. 9 and verse 6.
Who is that?
Proverbs chapter 9 verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Forsake the foolish.
It says, are you going to give your daughter or your son to the what?
Foolish.
It said, what are you supposed to do to the foolish?
Forsake the foolish.
When it comes to marriage, there's a determination that you got to put in your mind is, I can't let my son or daughter lock in with this foolish individual. This is a fool. But you don't always see intentions. You don't always see understanding. He said you're supposed to forsake the fool. Why is it important that you forsake the fool? Read.
Forsake the foolish and live.
They said because your life depends on it. You pick the wrong person, man, that's a life-altering decision. That's a permanently life-changing decision when you pick the wrong individual. Your life depends on it. On picking partners. Picking people to room with, live with, grow with. He said, forsake the foolish and live. Get the hell away from the foolish and live. Your life is going. If you're not careful, your life will be damaged. He said, and live. Read on.
And go in the way of understanding.
He said, and you get away from the foolish, and you go in the way of what?
Understanding.
What are you looking for in a partner?
Understanding.
He said, you're looking for understanding in marriage.
Is that you agree with me? Because we think understanding is agreement. This is about biblical understanding, right? Not that we think. Or you understand me because you agree with me. Or is it understand the Most High? Or what's necessary, what's required?
And you know what? We can't stress this enough. That you take the time to know really what you're getting yourself into. People don't know. People are suckers for love. And they use the wrong measurements. They use the wrong rulers to measure love in marriage. Our people are extreme, and they use feelings, emotions, and lust. Never no understanding. They can't. It's necessary that you're choosing a partner and you identify understanding in this individual, and you have to, because your life depends on it. We can't stress this enough. He says, forsake the foolish and what?
And live.
Go ahead.
And go in the way of understanding.
He said, and go in the way of understanding. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. He said, you got to go in the way of understanding. Get you somebody that got some understanding that's not foolish. That's critical.
Just critical.
Read that.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit.
Yeah, you supposed to believe everybody?
Nah.
Because they say that they're a nice person?
Believe not every spirit.
Remember, this class is geared towards the youth. We want the youth to hear this. We want the young to hear this. We want to hear the ones that are just getting started on this journey of hooking up, marriage, and choosing partners. We're trying to get we want you to hear this loud and clear. We want this verse to be permanently stamped on your mind. It says what?
Beloved, believe not every spirit.
You're just supposed to believe somebody because they say that they are who they say they are?
Believe not every spirit.
Because they say they're kind people?
Believe not every spirit.
Because they say I'm honest?
Believe not every spirit.
Because they say I'm a good guy?
Believe not every spirit.
Or I'm a proper selection.
Yeah,
I'm of a proper selection. You know, I'm a proper choice.
Yeah.
It really don't get no better than me.
That's self-proclaimed.
Yeah.
My
it's your loss if you don't choose correctly. So, what is he saying? He's saying that when you're picking a marriage partner, you're picking a partner to marry, you got to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into, and you make sure that that individual has understanding. He says in 1 John chapter 4, verse 1, read it again.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit.
It says, do you believe everybody that just says, hey, I love you? Says kind words to you? Says nice things. They do nice things. I do nice things. We do nice things together. We do nice things. He's nice to me. She's nice to me.
We like the same movies.
Yeah, we like the same thing. We have a common ground.
Same sports, same movies.
There's a commonality.
Same favorite colors.
What we're seeing is there has to be some depth to your selection. You can't make shallow selections when choosing a partner to marry. There has to be some depth behind it. Like the way he dressed. He always got nice shoes, man. I love his shoes.
Oh, yeah.
His shoe game is clean. Yeah, shoe game. Because he wear nice shoes.
That's a funny
You can
statement.
know a man by his shoes.
Yeah, you know I'm about shoes.
Shoe game's clean, man. Wow. There's got to be more to it than that. Our selection and our choices are very surface when it comes to marriage and picking partners. He says, brethren, believe not what?
Believe not every spirit,
Read.
but try the spirit.
It says you got to try the spirit. Go ahead.
Whether they are of the Most High.
You got to identify if this person that I'm choosing to live my life with, are they serious about God? Are they serious about the Most High? That's very important when picking a partner. Give you an example. If you have a partner that you're marrying and they don't respect or fear the Most High, what makes you think they're going to fear and respect you?
There's no need.
Are you greater than the Lord?
Yeah.
Are you greater than the
I
Most
want
High?
you to love me, but I don't care if you love God.
Yeah. If a person doesn't have a fear of the Lord, there's no way that they're going to fear you. They're not going to care about what you do. They don't care about respecting you. It's necessary that the other person has a consciousness towards God, because at least it may keep them in check from violating you, from stabbing you in the back,
That's a major thing.
to setting you up for failure. How many men get set up on date night?
Plenty.
Man, I thought she was cool.
Mona Lisa?
She came to the crib, we was Netflixing, and then these guys came in and kicked my door down, held me down at gunpoint.
Right after.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought it was cool. I thought she was cool. Thought we had something going.
And she has a history of this. She has a history of bringing the.
Yeah.
There's a cat.
Or,
Yeah.
hey, we're Netflixing and all of a sudden all his homies come in.
That's a common thing too.
That happens too.
Where all these bros come from?
Out of the closet.
Yeah, where's these bros from? But you know what? This is why he said, brethren, believe not every spirit.
I thought you liked me. I like you for now.
Yeah.
I think we like you.
Yeah, but look at the danger. If you're not careful about your selection, about who you choose to live with, be with, partner with, live life with. He said, believe not every spirit, but do what?
But try the spirit.
You said you have to examine and put every spirit to the test. You have to test the integrity, the morality of people that you choose to marry. You got to have some type of ruler that you're using. You have to use some type of tape measure that goes beyond just the surface of looks. Or he got a job. Or he makes money. Or he goes to school. He's a student. He's a hard worker.
Yeah.
She's pretty. She had a nice smile.
She has that colored eyes. She has the perfect colored eyes.
Yeah. She's my type. He says, but try the spirit.
I like her accent.
Yeah, she got an accent. We use the worst things to measure people by. And we wonder why our life is in trouble. Or there's curveballs thrown at us that we didn't see because we didn't look deep enough in the interior of this individual to find out if there was real value here. Is there real virtue here? Or was I just moved by emotion and feelings? What am I doing? So, read it again.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits,
Go ahead.
whether they are of the Most High.
He said, I got to try the spirit whether it's of the Most High. I got to find out if this person's about the Most High. But there's a problem. How can you examine the spirit if you don't know the spirit? How can you test morality and you don't have the wisdom or the understanding necessary to test the person's morality?
Does that mean I'm going to a situation blind?
Very much so. Yes, sir.
This is when the church body has to be like present.
This is when the church body has to be involved. This is when the church is important. This is when a second opinion is important. This is when a third opinion is important. This is when a fourth opinion is important. This is when counsel is important. This is when you got to start talking to people. You got to start asking questions.
You're right. You're right about that.
If you don't have the spirit of the Most High to identify the spiritual defects in a person, how can you examine and put the spirit to the test? You're supposed to look deeper than just what's on the surface of every individual.
Of everybody.
Everybody.
Not just marriage, right?
Not just marriage, friends too. People you call your friends. Yes, sir.
It's crazy how bouncing off what Ma Wallace said. Is that it's the humbleness to even ask questions. Some people don't want to ask because they got pride. They don't want to look, they don't want to seem like they don't know nothing. And also, just based off your question, Shanshwan, in order for the individual to know the spirit, they got to read, they got to study, they got to be around a body that understands. So there's multiple reasons, why people make mistakes.
Well, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 38. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 38. He said, you got to try the spirit by the spirit to see whether they are of the Most High, whether they're really about serving the Most High or not.
What was the verse?
38.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 38. Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Come. Which did eat the fat?
No, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 38.
That's it.
That's it? I want where it says they're void of understanding. I might got the wrong one. Deuteronomy chapter 32. Give me
You talking about Proverbs? You shall remain in the congregation.
Okay. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32. 28. Yep. 28. Not 38.
Okay.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 28. For they are a nation void of counsel.
It said, but the problem is with our people, we don't like to get what?
Counsel.
We don't like to talk about the little secret things that we do and our secret little infatuations that we have, because we don't want nobody to say what? What are we afraid of people telling us?
No.
Exactly. We don't want to be told no. This is why we don't bring people into our decisions. This is why we don't bring people and involve the congregation into my particular choices that I'm doing. This is why I keep on the low the sneaky, deviant things that I do in the dark, because I don't want to be told, no, you can't. I don't want to be stopped. So this is why I don't speak on what I'm doing. This is why I don't talk about what I'm doing. That's why I don't say nothing. I've been around people all day, and I don't say nothing about who I'm talking to and who I'm trying to partner with and mate with. I can work with people, live with people, but not say nothing about what I'm doing, because I have a feeling that if I open up and I say, hey, this is the person that I'm talking to, and they get a look at this individual and they start examining this individual, that they might say, hey, no, this ain't the one. This is not for you. It's not a good look. You need some more time. Or that's a bad choice. So he said, the Most High knows something about us. He said, we're a nation that's what?
For they are a nation void For they are a nation void of counsel.
We don't get no what?
Counsel.
We don't get no counsel. All we have to do is ask. Hey, man, what you think about this sister? Hey, what you think about this brother? What do you see that I may not see? What do you know about marriage that I may not know about marriage, that you can assist me in not making a bad decision?
Or what do you know about this type of soul that I'm not familiar with when it comes to this type of soul? Because there are different types of souls. For years, in the years past, You've always said, you've made this point many times about bring the spirit. When men get married, we tell men bring the spirit around.
You know the first thing we do when a brother say, man, I met a sister. It's always just like, okay. First thing we say is, why aren't they in class?
Yeah.
First thing we say, why have you brought them around? Where they at? If you met them, and you would expect some transparency. If you really want the best possible circumstance and outcome, you're gonna bring them around and say, hey, let's take a look at them.
Yeah.
Let's find out what you see of what you feel is your type. Let's look at your type. Let's take a look at it and see if there's some. You want people to shoot some holes in your decision making. You don't want a yes man next to you. Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you don't, somebody will. Oh yeah, I see why.
Yeah.
Blind man can see that. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I'm beholden.
Yeah. You better teach that one.
Yeah, you better teach, brother. You gotta keep teaching.
You better keep teaching that one.
And bro. You know what? But there's always somebody that's gonna say what? Nah, I don't agree.
Yeah.
Or did you consider this?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't agree. Or did you consider this? The brother didn't never consider it.
Like, how long y'all been talking? About a month.
Yeah.
About a month. But really, about a month is like 2 weeks.
Exactly.
It's 2 weeks.
About a month. Is
about a month. Yeah, we've been talking about a month. Here on and off. Yeah, okay. You say that, but that's not deep enough. That's not long enough. That's not enough time. That's not enough investigation. That person, you haven't even seen any of the red flags whatsoever on this individual.
Mm-mm.
It's all highlights.
Yep.
That's all you see is highlights. Height, conversation. He said, but our people is a nation void of what?
Counsel. Void of counsel.
Void of counsel. We have no damn counsel because we don't go get it. We don't use it. The counsel be right around us as the congregation, as the body. The counsel be right. It's always available. He said, they're void of counsel. What else?
Neither is there any understanding in them.
So how are you going to try the Spirit by the Spirit when you don't get counsel and you don't have no understanding, but you're supposed to be married to somebody that have understanding? But you don't got no counsel. You don't have no understanding. So how are you going to pick out somebody that has understanding? That's a problem. But why don't I have understanding? Why can't I see if this person, why can't I designate if this individual is right for me or not? What's the problem with my selection? What am I missing? And what am I not yielding myself to when I'm making this decision?
Counsel.
It's not based off counsel. I have no understanding. Why? You know why I don't have no understanding? Go to Proverbs. Push this in for me. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 21.
Come.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 21.
Come.
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 21 reads. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Folly is joy to him.
Stop. You know why I don't care about understanding?
Folly.
It's what?
Folly is joy to him.
Because I don't care about understanding. I care about what?
Folly.
I care about having fun.
Yep.
This is why I don't ask no questions. This is why I don't get no counsel. This is why I don't care to search the depths of the interior of this individual spirit. Because I'm not here for all that.
That's real.
That's too many questions.
You're killing the vibe, man.
That's too much work.
Yep.
I'm here to have what?
Fun.
I'm here to have fun.
Romance. Fun. Adventures.
You killing my vibe, man.
Yeah.
You know, let it marinate.
Yeah.
We having fun right now.
Yeah.
So this is why we avoid of counsel and understanding, because we value fun too damn much.
Yeah. Wow.
We play too damn much.
That's folly.
We want to have fun, and we care about laughing with people too much. Everything, you better pick out something serious. That you got to spend 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years with this individual. It better be right. And I'm not saying it can't be based upon laughter. Yeah, you can laugh later. You can look back and laugh with each other later and say, man, you believe that? Yeah. That was crazy. I was crazy. You can laugh later. But when you're selecting and picking and choosing, and you're supposed to be using some type of measurement that's based off counsel and understanding. It's not based off we just laugh all the time. What is the motivation behind and the glue behind the relationship? We just laughing? But he says what?
Folly is joy to him that is that is destitute of wisdom.
It says folly is joy to him that doesn't have what?
Wisdom.
So if you don't have wisdom, and you don't have understanding, and you don't have counsel, it's because all you care about is having too much fun. You're not serious. It's not serious. There's no way that you're not looking deeper at people when you're picking and choosing partners. It just can't be based upon fun. That's foolishness. It's only fun because you don't have no wisdom. It's only fun because you don't have no understanding. So it's just fun. Yeah, that's dangerous. He says, read that part again.
Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom.
Now, why somebody is destitute of wisdom? You got to go to Proverbs chapter 9, verse 8.
Come. I got it.
You got to go to Proverbs chapter 9, verse 8 and find out why would somebody be destitute of wisdom. Because all they have is folly. That's their joy, because they don't have no wisdom. But why are they destitute of wisdom? Proverbs chapter 9, verse 8.
Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 8 reads, reprove not a scorner.
It says, don't correct a what?
Scorner.
What's a scorner by definition?
Scorner.
So give me the second definition of scorner.
Scorner.
And so
18.
now the question we ask is, why is this individual destitute of wisdom? And we're in Proverbs chapter 8, 9 verse 8. Read that. Scorner.
Scorner. 1828, Webster's Dictionary, point number 2. A scoffer.
He said a scorner is somebody that's a scoffer. He'll get specific. Read on.
A derider.
Somebody that derides. If you need help knowing what that means, read on.
In Scripture, one who scoffs at religion.
It says they laugh at what?
Religion.
So why would somebody be destitute of wisdom? Because they laugh at what?
Religion.
They laugh at religion. They laugh at principles. Morals. They laugh at principles, instruction. They laugh at discipline. They laugh at belief. They laugh at faith. They laugh at the things that they shouldn't be laughing at. Like I said, everything is funny. Everything is funny and everything's cool.
Cool. Yeah.
We're just cool. He says the reason why people are destitute of wisdom is because they deride, they scoff at what?
At religion.
What else?
Its ordinances.
So I don't have to go to the Bible to find a partner. That's foolishness. People hook up every day. My mother and father didn't meet on the Bible. They met at the house party. They met at school. That's ridiculous. I don't have to use the Bible to find me a partner, find me a wife. That's unnecessary. He says, so they deride religion. What else?
Its ordinances.
And the ordinances of religion. We just read about if you marry your daughter, you perform the weighty matter, give her to a man of understanding. But I don't care about the orders of it. I don't care about betrothing a wife. I don't care about marriage in the sense of letting it be known in public what I'm doing and bringing in the families together. So everybody, and going to the father, going to the parents. Because that's what the scriptures talk about. Was to give that man a dowry. I'm supposed to do it a biblical way. But somebody that doesn't see the benefits or the sense of doing things the biblical way is a scorner. He says they mock and deride at what?
At religion.
What else?
It's ordinances.
And what else?
It's
And-
ordinances.
And what else?
Come. One who scoffs at religion, its ordinances and teachers.
And it's what?
And teachers.
So who do they mock?
Teachers.
They mock the teachers. Man, you gotta listen. You gotta listen to them.
Your favorite word.
They're too
Always
serious.
Bible.
But they're too serious.
It's a lot of Bibles all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. You're telling the teacher, man, I don't want to hear that.
That approach is outdated, bro.
Yeah, that's old.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say their favorite word is that's ridiculous.
That's
That's a bunch of hogwash. Y'all, that requires too much adjusting and changing because they don't want to come out of their own comfort.
You'll find out.
If I use that Bible, it'll take forever before I get married.
Yeah.
What you want me to do will take too long.
It's too much.
We having fun right now.
It's too overwhelming. It's too much work.
We
Having a
chilling.
good time.
Yeah. It's too much work. You asking me to do all these things? I don't know how to do all these things. That's too much. Or that's for you. That's not for me.
That's a good one.
Everybody has their own way.
That's a good one.
Everybody has their own way of doing things.
It's a real opinion.
So I mock the religion. I mock ordinances, and I mock the what?
Teachers.
I mock my teachers. So these are individuals. The reason why our people are destitute of wisdom, especially when they're going into a relationship, because they don't see the benefits of the teachers. They don't see the advice. They don't see the good in the advice, the counsel. What you got, Karai?
I got more in that definition, chapter 1. It says, and who makes a mock of sin and the judgments and threatenings of the Most High.
You know what they're missing? They're missing the fear of the Lord.
Yeah.
They don't have enough fear of the Lord. They don't think that there's somebody controlling everything and is dictating their direction. They don't see the Most High involved in what they're doing. I don't see the Most High being present in my decision making. Y'all are too religious. Y'all are superstitious. I'm out here trying to have fun. I'm trying to have a good time.
Can I live, man?
Can I live? You did your thing, right? I'm trying to do mine. Let me do mine. Let me do my thing. Okay. You can have your way of doing things, but you're going to find out how the Most High views it. But this is why, let's go back to Proverbs chapter 9, and let's read verse 8.
Come, reprove not a scorner.
It says somebody that doesn't see the value in teachers, having counselors, having a congregation, having an assembly, having advice. He says somebody that don't value that. He said don't correct them. Leave them alone. He says if you
They'll find out.
They'll find out. He said if you reprove them, what happens?
Lest he hate thee.
He says because they don't see the good in it. So the more you keep talking about what decisions they should be making and making better decisions, the more that they don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't like what you're saying. It's almost like you're trying to.
You hating on me.
You hating on me and you killing my vibe. You don't ever want me to be married.
Trying to block my blessings.
Yeah. But this is what people think. People think this way. Read on.
Come, rebuke. Rebuke a wise man.
They said, but if you check a wise man, somebody that cares about doing things the right way, if a man or woman is interested in somebody, and you say, hey, did you look out for this, this, and this, and this? Did you pay attention to these signs? Did you ask these questions? Did you find out what they're about? How many relationships they've been in? How many kids they got? What is their history? Did you do background check? Read on.
Come, and he will love thee.
It said, but when you check a wise person, they know that you're only looking out for me because you don't want me to make mistakes. You're asking me all these questions, not because you're trying to stop me from meeting somebody. You're asking me all these questions because you don't want me to make mistakes and you don't want me to fall. They can comprehend why the investigation is necessary.
The funny thing is, people, they want more advice about vehicles and about purchases than their life transactions, their marital transactions.
Yep.
People have competency. They don't want to drive a car to be a limit. They don't want a limit. They don't want a money pit. They want a vehicle that has a bad safety rating. So they'll consider every element that logically. What's the safety specs? How many miles is this? And there are the prior accidents. Can I get a mechanic to come check this vehicle out to just double check it? Will the engine work long term?
Yep.
But when it comes to a partner for the rest of their life, no such thinking.
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
Read on.
Come. It says, give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser.
Read.
Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning.
So not everybody's going to take your advice when you tell them to examine their particular partners or friends that they wish to grow with. Not everybody will see the benefit. Some will, some won't. Read.
Come, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
It says, but the fear of the Lord is what?
The beginning of wisdom.
So if I don't want to be destitute of wisdom, I can't mock, deride, make fun of religion, the teachers that's teaching me, thinking that what they're telling me is baseless and it's unnecessary for me in my situation, or they're being extreme or overboard. If I fear the Most High, that's the first start. I got to have a respect and a fear of the Most High. And that's where you want to start even in choosing somebody. Do they have a fear of the Lord? Read on.
Come. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
And knowledge, when you're around the congregation, you get the knowledge of what? No.
Holy.
It says when you're in a congregation in a church environment, you get to pick apart the knowledge of the holy. You get to get advice and counsel from people that care about doing things the right way. He says when you have access to the knowledge of the holy, this is how you increase what?
Understanding.
This is how you sharpen your understanding. This is teaching you how to become more discerned and spiritually minded so you can examine other people. You know what to put to the test. You know what to look for in people. But you have to get that from the knowledge of who?
Of the holy.
You got to get that from the knowledge of the ones around you that care about doing things holy, sacred, set apart for a divine purpose. They care about doing things the right way. This increases your understanding. You don't want to forfeit that. Read on.
Come. It says, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
And what will happen if I get the knowledge of the holy, which is around me in the congregation? Read.
For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased.
Because if you got the fear of the Lord and you get the knowledge of the holy around you, he says your life shall be increased. What does that mean?
Lengthen lifespan.
Your life will be. What he's saying is he's talking about the quality of life.
Yes, that's a major thing.
He's talking about quality. Your quality of life will increase when you do things the right way. You won't be in a marriage from hell. You'll be in a situation that you regret and wish you could turn the clock back and just say, "Man, I wish I would have ran when I seen this person. I wish I would have ran."
I wish I never met.
Yeah.
the spirit.
Yeah. But he says when I do things the right way and I get advice, he says, if thou will be wise, he said, for by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. The Most High will ensure that I have a better life when I'm making better decisions. The reason why I'm making better decisions, because I'm using the knowledge of the holy. I'm using the knowledge of the people around me that the Most High gave me to get better counsel, better instruction. So I'm looking for certain things, better principles, better morals. Read on.
Come, verse 12. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself.
He said, and if you be wise, guess what? If you choose to pick apart the minds of your teachers, of the ones around you, there's a multitude of married couples in the camp in the church. But if I can pull them to the side and pick their brain and ask questions, read.
Come. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself.
It'll benefit me by getting the advice and extracting the information from the people around me. Man, how'd you meet your wife? How long y'all been together? What makes a relationship last long in the truth? What should the focus be in a new relationship? What should I be looking for in a husband? What should I be looking for in a wife? You got all these people around you that do it all the time. That's been together for 10, 20, 25, almost 30 years, some 30 years. And you ask no questions? You have a chance to increase your quality of living. Read on.
Come. But if thou scornest, thou alone.
But if you think it's funny, you don't take nothing serious. You mock it with what your teachers tell you, or you just don't seek advice at all. He said, if you scorn, guess what? Read.
Thou alone shall bear it.
He says, you alone gonna suffer. So it's in your best interest to utilize the body, utilize the congregation, utilize instruction. It's in your best interest. Why? Read on.
Come, verse 13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing.
Now what does getting advice got to do with a foolish woman? Why does the Bible go strictly from talking about the benefits of getting wisdom from the people around you straight into a bad person? Yes. But how come he didn't see it? Because they didn't get no counsel. Because they didn't care about the knowledge of the holy. They scoffed and mocked and derided at the individuals that the Most High put around them to increase their particular quality of life. So now this individual just walked into a trap. He's going straight into that topic because if you were getting the instruction and the counsel and the advice, you would be able to identify, hey man, that's a clamorous woman. That's a foolish woman. Man, that woman is not good for me. If you were doing the things that we just read about, starting in verse 8, you could have been able to pinpoint and say, man, hey, that's not a good sign. Those are red flags. That's not a good choice. That's not a proper selection. That's dangerous. He said a foolish woman is what?
A foolish woman is clamorous.
What else?
She is simple and knoweth nothing.
She's what?
Simple and knoweth nothing.
Yeah, man, you didn't see it? You couldn't tell? You couldn't tell. Read.
Come, verse 14. For she sitteth.
I mean, you didn't ask the right questions.
Wow. Be quick to be mad at the person, but not mad at the fact when he asks questions.
I asked no questions, man. Read.
For she sitteth at the door of her house.
Go ahead.
On a seat in the high places of the city.
She wants attention.
High places.
She talks a lot, and she puts herself in a position where she gets attention. You didn't see this? You trying to lock up with that?
I ain't go too far.
Yes, sir.
It's like that. It's like that. That black woman that went to Palestine. I don't know if you heard about that report, but she went to Palestine and she was talking like she was trying to get a husband. And the
It
dude
wasn't Palestine. It was Pakistan.
Pakistan. My fault.
She was
Not
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
She turned up.
She turned up about having a husband and all that, and basically he abandoned her and all that. And she
I
came
don't-
out there.
I don't know. Oh, she's stuck out there in Pakistan.
She was
No.
She catfished a 19-year-old boy.
What happened was, like I was telling the brothers, it was gonna happen. She was talking a lot of noise in Pakistan. She says, "I demand money, and I moved to Dubai and start my life, and these Pakistanis gonna pay for my life in Dubai." She went to Dubai and immediately got arrested. They weren't having that in Dubai. She's locked up right now. No one's heard from her since. But she got locked up in Dubai. I told you I was gonna
They're
have
not
it,
playing.
but she got locked up because they don't play that. They don't play that over there.
Just on that
The
point.
Most High don't play that.
I know.
He said a foolish woman is what?
Clamorous.
Clamorous.
Get the definition of clamorous.
I got it right here.
Clamorous.
Oh, you got two. Okay.
1828. Webster's Dictionary.
Should have known it.
You didn't know? Webster's
It's back.
Dictionary.
It's been there.
1828.
It said a foolish woman is what?
Clamorous.
What you got?
Clamorous. 1828. Webster's Dictionary. Speaking and repeating loud words.
Speaking and repeating loud words.
Yeah.
She overtalks you.
Yeah.
She don't let you get a word in. You couldn't tell that wasn't a good wife? How could you miss that red flag?
You didn't wait long enough to
The
see that.
scriptures say you can tell the grace of a wife, it's in her tongue.
Yeah.
You know her value because it's in her speech.
Yeah.
It says a foolish woman is what?
Clamorous.
She's what, Kariah?
Speaking and repeating loud words.
Go ahead.
Says nosy.
She what?
Nosy.
You didn't see that?
She's most of that.
Noisy?
Nosy and noisy.
Noisy.
No, come on, bro.
Okay.
She nosy too? Actually, we're gonna get to that point too. Yeah. Who you finna be with?
Put your location on.
Yeah. He said she's noisy. What else?
It says phosphorus.
What else?
Loud.
What else?
Turbulent.
She's turbulent. She's drama filled. You couldn't see this? That wasn't a wife? How could you let that go over your head? Because you was too busy trying to have fun.
Yeah.
You like it spicy.
Yeah.
You like them toxic.
Ghostly cuz.
Yeah.
Ghostly cuz.
You like
That's not a license plate, man.
you like them loud and overbearing.
I was gonna say they talk about it all the time.
I know, but that's why we're laughing because people see it,
We know.
but you didn't see it. That's the problem. You didn't have the understanding that was available to you. You didn't have the knowledge of the holy around you to be able to see that all those attributes were still there. They were always in that person. You missed all the signs. When the Most High is telling you what you're looking at, He's helping you identify through these attributes of the quality of person that you're trying to choose or you're with. Read
The definition or the verse?
the verse.
Okay, got it. Verse 14. For she sitteth at the door of her house, on a seat in the high places of the city.
She sit at the door of her house on a seat in the high place of the city. She's looking for attention.
Yeah.
She's trying to get attention. You can't see that? That's not a good choice. But how many men walk straight into that?
A lot.
How many men hook up with that? Yeah, you go right straight into it, and you wonder why she don't follow you. You wonder why she don't listen to you. You wonder why she don't receive instruction. those attributes have always been there. You were too busy trying to have fun. We're just having fun. We're not. It's not serious. It's not that serious. Yes, it is serious. Marriage is serious. Very serious. Read on.
Verse 15. To call passengers who go right on their ways.
Go ahead.
Whoso is simple.
It says, whoso is simple. Another definition of simple is stupid. Stupid is actually a definition of simple. But it says, whoso is simple, read.
Let him turn in hither.
If you don't get the understanding from the Bible, if you don't get the understanding from your teachers, if you don't get the understanding from your counselors, if you don't get the understanding from the assembly that the Most High has you with, he says you're going to be the next victim that's turning that direction towards that individual. Read on.
Come. And as for him that wanteth understanding.
And if you lack understanding, because you never got understanding, because understanding is gotten by the ones around you. He said the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Understanding is given to you by the people around you. But when you forfeit the understanding of the people around you, read on.
Come. And as for him that wanteth understanding, she said to him, stolen waters are sweet.
She said to him, what?
Stolen waters are sweet.
He never saw it coming. Stolen waters are sweet.
That practice of secrecy.
You know what? There's a naughtiness involved and an excitement involved when men are doing stuff and people are doing stuff behind closed doors. There's a taboo involved. There's an excitement.
That makes it fun.
There's a thrill behind it. Behind the secrecy that nobody knows what's going on. We got a thing, me and Miss Jones.
Yeah.
We got a thing going on. Read.
Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
It said, and when you keep it a secret, it's even better when you keep things a secret. It's more tantalizing.
Yeah.
And it's more lust-filled.
They don't know. They don't know.
Yeah.
You like that.
You know what? It's more fun when you're not telling everybody what you're doing with individuals behind closed doors and in the dark. It's more fun. Secret lovers? Yes. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I want to say that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Every R&B song is like that.
TLC, just keep it on the down low.
Yeah.
That's
R.
down low. Oh, they have one like that?
So I creep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Creep on down. You're right.
Nobody has to know. So I creep. Yeah, because when you creeping, yes, it is more fun. It spices up the affection.
Yeah.
It entices the lust. You burning. Both parties are burning in their lust. And they think that's what the Most High wants. But you didn't see this person coming? That's not trying to do things out in the open and transparent and honest about what's going on. He said what? Stolen waters are sweet.
Stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
He said bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Give me this give me Matthew Henry. I want you to read this, Dawiat. I got it right here. I want you to read this for me real quick. Give me 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6. Finish that verse, my Waller.
Come. Verse 18. But he knoweth not that the dead are there.
It says when you're dealing with that kind of woman that do things in the dark, he says, don't you know that the dead are there? There's nothing productive is going to come out of that relationship. That relationship is dead while it starts. Because it's dead while it began.
Before we got there.
Before it even began to manifest itself to something greater. He said, because you've already compromised your safety. You already put yourself in a bad position. You've already bypassed all instruction, all counsel, and all available information to prosper. Read.
But he knoweth not that the dead are there,
Finish that.
and that her guests are in the depths of hell.
You didn't know that that woman's going to drive you to hell. That particular type of spirit. But you couldn't see that spirit. Neither did you have understanding enough to qualify that spirit to find out if that person was good for me. Now the relationship is hell. Now I want this relationship to be over with.
I'm cursed.
I'm cursed. We've actually had people say that. I'm cursed. Give me that. 1 Timothy.
God, 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6.
Read that.
Not a novice.
It says we're not supposed to be a novice. What's a novice?
A rookie, beginner.
A beginner, a rookie, somebody that's unlearned,
In ignorance.
untaught, unlearned, ignorant. It says, "Be not a novice." When you're in a relationship, you don't have to be married to be an expert. You can know a lot about marriage before you even get started. It's based upon how much information, how much counsel do you choose to acquire from the people around you that's been married in Christ, that's been married in the church. You don't have to be married to understand it. You can get a pretty good wealth of knowledge and assistance and information from the people that are married around you. That's part of the benefits of a congregation. He said you don't have to be a novice. You don't want to be a novice. He said not a novice. Go ahead.
Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride,
Go ahead.
he fall into condemnation of the devil.
Because when you are a beginner and you're trying to do things your way, he says you're going to end up falling into the condemnation of who?
The devil.
Read this right here.
Matthew Henry. He must not be a novice.
It said you must not be a novice. What does he mean? We're going to expound a little bit more on this verse. Read.
Not one newly brought to the Christian religion.
It says you can't act brand new in the Christian religion, especially when it comes to you're trying to be married, but you don't know enough. You're unlearned and untaught, but you're trying to establish a relationship, but you haven't even been taught. You're trying to make a marriage and nobody's giving you instruction. You don't have biblical understanding.
That's like building a house, but the foundation's still wet.
On concrete.
The concrete, my bad. The concrete's hasn't cured yet.
Yeah.
It's still kind of.
It's soft.
It's still soft. You're gonna start putting steel beams in there trying to build this house.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
I'm building the house off wrong principles. He says you ain't supposed to be a novice. But a lot of people try to jump steps, skip steps.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go straight to the marriage without the understanding. I'm trying to go straight to the marriage without the counsel. I'm trying to go straight to the marriage without the knowledge of the holy. I'm trying to bypass and skip steps from everybody around me to give me advice on this particular situation. I'm trying to go straight to the marriage. What will cause a person to do that? Read that again.
It says he must not be a novice, not one newly brought to the Christian religion, or not one who is but meanly instructed.
You have a very elementary understanding of the Bible, but you're already trying to commit to people in life. You're already trying to do mature things, but your understanding in this book is very shallow. But you're doing adult things. Like I said, the class is geared towards the youth. Don't be so quick and hasty to do mature things, but your understanding is small. Read.
Who knows no more of religion.
It says they don't even understand religion. They don't understand principles. They don't understand morals. They don't understand doctrine. They don't understand ordinances. But they're trying to establish themselves with other people, and you have a very elementary understanding. Read on.
Who knows no more of religion than the surface of it.
It says they only know the what?
Surface of it.
You only know the surface of biblical things. You may have been to class a couple times. You may have read the Bible a little bit. You only scratching the surface, but you're trying to connect yourself in life with people forever. But you only got a surface knowledge of righteousness. You don't know enough. Read on.
For such a one.
It says, for this type of individual that's trying to do mature things, but they have a surface understanding of it, for such a one is what?
Is apt to be lifted up with pride.
It said all it is what?
Pride.
All it is pride. That's all. For anybody that's skipping steps to doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
Man, this is a great point.
Anybody that's skipping steps and bypassing instruction and bypassing counsel and not letting people in on what's going on, not being honest, not being transparent. What's forcing them to do it? What are they propelled by?
Pride.
How come I ain't tell nobody?
Pride.
How come I don't get advice from nobody?
Pride.
How come I'm not asking no questions?
Pride.
How come I act like I know what I'm doing?
Pride.
It's all what?
Pride.
How come I didn't let anybody else examine this person?
Pride.
It was all what?
Pride.
That's what it is. It's pride. Read on.
This is crazy. The more ignorant men are.
It says the more ignorant men are, guess what?
The more proud they are. Killer, bro. The more ignorant they are, the more proud they are. It's like equivalent.
Yes.
Crazy, bro.
He's showing you. He's showing you how ignorance and pride are related.
It's crazy, bro.
It just shows you when people reject or they're void of understanding. It's because they operate in a high capacity of pride. This is why he says, we read it earlier. He says,
not being a novice.
No, he said that they're void. He said, but he said it another way. He said they're void of understanding. He's basically saying they're absent of wisdom. He said they're what's the term he used? They're absent of wisdom. They don't possess wisdom.
Yeah.
Particular term he used. But he's showing how people that don't follow instructions are only following their own pride. This is the danger that people walk in every day when they don't care about getting a second opinion about their decisions. They don't care about, let me make sure that the Most High is okay with what I'm doing. Is the Most High okay with what I'm doing? Yes, sir.
You mean destitute?
Destitute. That's the word I'm looking for. Destitute of wisdom. But why am I destitute of wisdom? Because I operate in what?
Pride.
Ignorance.
I operate in pride. It says, that last part.
The more ignorant men are, the more proud they are.
He said that's what's happening. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with ignorance, but really in actuality you're dealing with pride. You're dealing with somebody that hasn't humbled themselves to learn what it takes to be married. Learn what it takes to be instructed. Learn what it takes to choose somebody that's significant as a partner.
I didn't know any better.
Well,
But then I didn't listen either. I didn't ask.
I didn't ask either. You got a camp full of married people, but you ask nobody that's married how to make a marriage. Why is that? It's pride, man. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 10, same point.
We're done with 1 Timothy.
Yeah, we're done with 1 Timothy.
Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 10.
A few more minutes. Mm-hmm. Just finish the beat up. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 10, read that.
Proverbs chapter 7, verse 10. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot.
You didn't do a speech check. She was loudmouth. She wanted attention. She overtalked you. You didn't do that check.
Trying to be seen.
She's trying to be seen, trying to be at the peak of all attention. Try to overtalk you. You didn't check that. You didn't do it. You didn't do a skirt check. She don't wear no dresses. Everything's body tight, skin tight. Everything's form fitting. Everything's busty. What are we dealing with?
Oh, she don't know no better than that.
She coming out the world.
She coming out the world. You gotta understand.
She need time like everybody need time.
She been hurt.
She been hurt. What does that got to do with her dress code? At? You would think if she been hurt, she'd come up to more.
Yeah.
He said, but you do what?
And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot.
It says she got the attire of a what?
Harlot.
You didn't do a clothes check? You didn't do a wardrobe check? You mean to tell me you went past, you didn't go no deeper than what you saw sticking out the wardrobe? You didn't identify? Nobody seeing the red flags? Read on.
And subtle of heart.
Crafty, deceitful, and treacherous. Read on.
She is loud and stubborn.
We just read that a foolish woman is clamorous. You didn't see, you're not seeing the signs? You're not picking up on what's in front of you? But you don't read the Bible though, right? You don't listen to teachers, right? Read on.
She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house.
She's always somewhere else. Out and about. Ripping and running. Busybody. Read on.
Now is she without.
It says, now is she without. Read.
Now in the streets.
She's where?
In the streets.
Where she at?
In the streets.
Not home.
You didn't do a location check? You didn't do a location check? You didn't know where she was at? She told you she was at the grocery store? She's at the mall? She in the streets.
In the streets.
You didn't do a wardrobe check. You didn't do a mind check, a temperament check, a speech check. You didn't check nothing. You just bypassed all them signs. Read that again.
Come. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 12. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner.
How you know she lied in wait? Go to Ecclesiastes 26 and 9. How you know somebody lying in wait? Somebody fishing? Go to Ecclesiastes 26 and 9.
Well, a person's waiting, right?
Yeah.
Give something to bite.
Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse 9. It says, the whoredom of a woman.
It said the whoredom of a woman. We just read about the clothes. We read about the wardrobe selection. We read about the clamorous mouth. The over-talking. Bold, stubborn. We're reading about actual personality traits. What else?
It says, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks.
You didn't look at her? You didn't check her? You didn't look at her?
No. She had the streaks on, the highlights on. She had the makeup.
But you didn't see the wandering eye? You didn't see the eyeball bounce when somebody else passed by? You didn't see the bouncy eyeballs?
She got pretty lip gloss on. Her lip gloss was real pretty. Lip gloss was popping.
But you didn't see how she looked. How she be staring. He said, we don't look at no signs because we don't care about the Bible. The Bible is full of warnings.
I thought she stared at me just that way.
Yeah, I thought it was just me.
She stared at everybody.
Yeah, the Bible is full of warnings and full of signs, and we don't care about none of them. We don't want none of it.
I gotta live my life.
Read on.
It says, the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids.
So you know she fishing because you can tell by how she looking. She looking for attention. A woman knows when somebody's watching and they give you the look back to see if you watching.
Yep.
They watching you to see if you watching. A woman know these things. They look at you to see if you looking. Man. Come on, bro. All this is in the Bible. You're not reading no magazine. This is the Bible talking.
St. Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, bro, this is the Bible talking. The Most High been given instruction. Let that go and go back. Proverbs chapter 7. 13 through 15 real quick.
Proverbs chapter 7, verse 13. So she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee.
He said, I have what?
And I have found thee.
Read.
I have decked my bed with covering.
Stop. He says, therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I found thee. What does that sound like? I finally found the guy of my dreams.
Been looking for you all my life.
Been looking for you all my life. What does that sound like? You can't tell when somebody's working on you. It's flattery. You can't tell when somebody's blowing smoke. You can't tell when somebody's gassing you up. You can't tell when you're being inflated. When your ego is being stroked. You can't see none of these things. When somebody's just telling you what you want to hear. You can't tell when somebody is working on you. Selling you something. Come on, man. It's dangerous. Relationships are dangerous. And you got to be more careful. And you got to use greater instruction before you make yourself compatible with somebody. You better do some hella determination and examination about what it is that you're looking at. You got to know what you're getting into. We can't stress that enough. But if you care about what the Bible is saying, there are so many signs to look for danger. Read on.
Verse 16. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with love.
Let's enjoy each other. Read on.
For the good man is not at home.
Stop. She's married. She's married. And you gonna walk into that one? He said, for the good man is what?
For the good man is not at home. He has gone on a long journey.
Let me modernize that verse right there. We ain't together right now.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah, we're on a break right now. We're not together right now. That's the modern version of what we're reading. Is that he's on a long journey? No, we're not together right now. That's adultery. How y'all not together? He still got a key.
The shoes are right there by the bed. Huh? That's how you know. Like, this ain't your shoe size right here.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah, the pictures are still there.
Come on, man.
Pictures.
Pictures up.
Why is he hanging up?
Who that is? That's just my baby daddy. Come on, man.
He doesn't treat you right.
Yeah. Read on.
Verse 20.
21 to 23 real quick.
Verse 21. With her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him.
She do what?
She forced him.
She forced him by hyping him up, selling him a dreams, telling him what he wants to hear. He blew past all the signs. Read on.
With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. Verse 22. He goeth after her straightway.
Wow.
As an ox goeth to the slaughter.
He let all his guard down. All his guard come down. You let somebody break you down and break your guard down to where you're completely vulnerable to whatever it is that they're telling you. You just took all inhibitions, all caution, all prudence went out the window. Read on.
He goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stock.
Or a fool to the correction of the stocks. Like you going to prison. She led you to prison. Read on.
Verse 23. Till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare.
What's the modern dart?
Bullet.
And knoweth not that it is for his life.
So your life depends on understanding the spirit of the Most High, and specifically choosing people who you make yourselves one with and unify with. Your life depends on it. It's critical that you get understanding, a biblical understanding. You get advice and counsel from the people around you when you're meeting people. Because you could be gamed on, you could be manipulated, you could be a sucker for love and not even know it, and not know how to test the person that's telling you all these things. You have no ability to qualify this person, to find out, is this person vetted? Is this person approved? Does this person pass the test to be with me? You didn't do none of these things. He says, until the dart hits you in the liver, and what?
Till the dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life.
And he don't know that it's for his what?
His life.
Now, we know that the Bible is dropping some serious instruction right here. But we got to bring this point in right here. I want you to bring this in. Your life depends on your selection of who you choose to partner up with. You got to be more careful. You have to be more careful. Because
we got friends just always say that.
Yeah, because there's individuals like this guy right here. Now I want you to read this for me. This is this guy was on a series, a true crime series a couple of years ago. He passed away. But I want you to read about this guy. His name is Samuel Little.
Samuel Little.
Or he's also known as a.k.a. Samuel McDowell, a.k.a. Mr. Sam, a.k.a. the choke and stroke killer. Read.
Choke and stroke killer. It says December 30th, 2020. I just died. Was an American serial killer.
This is a black dude. Read.
Who was convicted of 8 murders and confessed to committing 93 murders.
Wow.
Between 1970 and 2005.
That means this man was killing for 35 years straight.
Undetected.
Undetected.
It's 50 years.
Read?
Well,
No.
He died in 2020. Never mind. Not arrested.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation Violent Criminal Apprehension Program has confirmed his involvement in at least 60 murders.
They found 60 bodies. He said he killed 93. They just ain't found the other ones yet.
He probably forgot.
No, he didn't forget. He actually had a vivid memory.
Oh, wow.
And he drew sketches of those 63 individuals.
Wow.
He knew all his victims. Read.
The largest number of confirmed victims for any serial killer in American history.
This guy just died a couple years ago.
Modern day Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, worse than Jack the Ripper. This dude's almost had 100 bodies. Read on.
Little provided sketches.
He said he provided what?
Little provided sketches
Go ahead.
for 26 of his victims.
Read.
Although not all have been linked to known murders.
All right. So this guy right here, I wish I had a picture of him, because this guy's been he's been dead. He's been dead in the eye for a long time. But I want you to read about. I want you to pay attention to how he chooses his victims. This guy is a maniac. But I want you to pay attention to how he chooses victims. Read this right here.
Little admitted to 93 different murders in total, and 60 deaths have been formally connected to him by the police. The majority of Little's victims were sex workers.
They were what?
Sex workers.
Now, we might say, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Well, I'm not a sex worker, so that ain't got nothing to do with me. So he wasn't looking for me. Not so. He said the majority of his victims were sex workers. Read.
Substance users.
They were drug abusers. So you may say, hey, I don't do no drugs. I'm not a sex worker, and I don't do drugs. So that counts me out. But what?
Or homeless individuals.
Well, you might say, well, you know what? I'm not homeless. So that counts me all the way out. Not so. Not yet. Read on.
And most of them were female.
Go ahead.
He claimed that he thought these persons.
Stop. Listen to his logic. Listen to this madman's logic. Listen to the way he thinks. Listen to his thought process. This is his claim. He says what?
He claimed that he thought these persons would leave fewer clues.
He said because these individuals would leave fewer clues. Why?
For authorities to find and leave fewer persons to search for them.
He says because they're not connected with anybody.
That's the key part.
So you may not be a sex worker. You may not be a drug abuser. You may not be homeless. But in his logic, I'm looking for people that's not connected with anybody.
That's the victim.
You're the victim. So when you don't have a church body, when you're a loner, and you're an isolated individual,
Too quiet.
you do things in the dark. You don't involve anybody around your decision making. You don't let nobody know what's going on around you. You may not be in the streets as a sex worker. You may not be on drugs. You may not be homeless. But you still qualify for this guy because you're a loner. He's looking for loners.
That's the best victim. All those guys, what's those stories out? That's their favorite pick. Those spirits detect loners.
Yep.
Their fear is other people stepping in to defend them. That's their fear.
Or you may let me get this too. I want to read this part too. Give me this part right here. It says that
The Heratai,
which are female prostitutes, sex workers in the Greek culture. Read on.
are usually women
They said these are usually women that what?
of the citizen class.
They said they're regular citizens. They're regular citizens. But what about these individuals? Read.
Who have fallen from the respectability.
Stop. He says these women have fallen from the respectability of what?
Or fled from the seclusion required of Athenian maids and matrons.
Read that part again.
It says, who have fallen from the respectability or fled from the
It said
seclusion.
these are women that started to isolate themselves. These are women that at one point in time they were respectable women. But they didn't like being secluded.
Wow.
They didn't like being pent up,
Kept up in
restrained.
They didn't like that.
They didn't like to be conformed to anything.
Protected.
They didn't like to be overseen.
Facts.
He says these women were respectable women, but they had a problem with authority. They had a problem with being having to check and get permission to do things. They thought that was an unjust lifestyle for me to be secluded and what else?
From the seclusion required of Athenian maids and matrons.
I didn't want the idea of being somebody that's just, in my own bubble and on my own church world. I don't need nobody telling me what to do, because that's how women look at the body. That's how women look at the camp. It's just a bunch of people trying to tell me what to do. So you know what? What do? In response? Read.
They live independently.
Stop. They live what?
Independent.
People that don't like authority live what?
Independently.
So he's showing you that there's something to what this guy was looking for.
They're falling in the hands of the dragon, huh?
He's looking for independent women.
Yeah.
Women that tell themselves, I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody telling me what to do.
It's crazy, bro.
He's looking for people who don't have family and friends always monitoring them. They were easy prey because they were vulnerable pickings. We read earlier, he said, woe to them that's what? Alone. He said these women, they didn't want to be cooped up. They didn't want to be controlled. He said they fled from the seclusion required of Athenian maids and matrons. They didn't want to be a young, respectable, honorable woman that reports and that gets counsel before making moves. They wanted freedom. But that freedom may cost you. That independence may cost you because you got freaks, maniacs that are looking for individuals that are not connected to a body. That don't speak and pass everything through elders. Read on.
And entertain at their own home.
And they bring what?
They entertain at their own.
They bring entertain. What are they looking for? They try to have fun. Everything I do is my business. I entertain at my own house, meaning I do what I do. I do my business at home. I don't care or respect a body that's trying to keep me respectable. I don't value the assembly. I don't care so much about elders telling me what to do or look out for. I don't want anybody stopping me from chasing what I'm trying to accomplish. So I open myself up to people, to men. But I do it independently. Not knowing that you're going to meet a choking stroke. Not knowing that you're going to meet Mr. Sam. Because you don't know what you're getting. This guy had an affinity of choking women since elementary. It was in him since elementary when you read about this guy. He said his elementary teacher used to rub her neck. And that's when he became infatuated with the neck of a woman.
This is a program. This is a program.
But you don't know what you're doing though, right? But you're an adult, right? You know marriage, right? You know people, right? You got understanding, right? Read. He says they entertain at their homes. What?
The lovers whom they lure.
So he said they entertain the lovers at home whom they lure, but you don't know what you're catching. You don't know what's on the other end of that hook.
It's a surprise.
He said, and the problem is this. Give me this right here. Last shot. 734. I want you to read this right here.
You said he was an actor?
Now, he was a boxer. He had been arrested like 30 times. They still let him out. 734. I want you to read this part right here. By stringing together. You know what the problem is with this? Is that I don't have counsel. I don't value counsel. I don't value elders. I don't value instruction. I don't value principles and morals, ordinances. I don't value teachers. But I tell myself what I think I know, and I think what's good for me. And it's all based upon pride. It's my pride talking. And I open myself up to entertain people in my own privacy because I want to live a private, independent life. But the problem is this. It's what you tell yourself. Read this right here.
By stringing together flattering sentences.
It says some people string together. They string together flattering sentences. Go ahead.
And long series of cunningly imagined panegyrics,
which are praise. They praise themselves for their thinking. What is that? That's arrogance. It's pride. I value the way I think. I value the way I look at life. That's why it says the more ignorant they are, the more prideful they are. It's all pride. He says, but the problem is they string together praise of themselves. They think they're smart. They think they're so intelligent. And they think they're so damn smart. Yeah, you may not be the drug addict. You may not be the homeless. You may not be the sex worker. But are you independent and prideful and think you damn know everything? And secluded and isolated? You're still a victim. You're still vulnerable. You're still in danger. He said they string together what? Panegyrics.
Panegyrics, okay.
Which is praise.
God. And partly too, because he was very highly thought of by the greater part of the city.
And it's, you know what? I want people to see me a certain way. So I inflate myself with pride because I care about how people see me. I care about my image.
Is that I can say it is the internet. Internet's good for the panegyric angle because it says assembly, public assembly.
I care about
how I'm seen in public.
How I'm perceived in public. I don't want to look like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because my pride is on the line, so I want to look smart. I tell myself I'm smart. I tell myself I got it under control. I tell myself I know what I'm doing. Even though I have no damn experience whatsoever. But I tell myself these things. Read on.
But he was deceiving himself.
It said, but when people do this, when they feel like I got it under control, I don't need nobody's advice, I know what I'm doing. He said, what is it that they're doing?
Deceiving himself.
All they're doing is lying to themselves. The problem is what people tell themselves of why they don't get no help, of why they don't care to bring somebody in and get a second opinion of a person or a third opinion of a person. How many of them women would have been alive if they would have said, man, I don't know this guy? How many women would still be here if they said, man, let me bring you to my father? Or let me bring you to my family members. Let me introduce you.
He would have dipped out.
My brother's coming with us. That wasn't who he was looking for.
And they would have saw the spirit anyway.
Yeah, they would have known, hey, man, what do you do for a living? Oh, you're just a traveler. Oh, you just went from Florida to Texas, now you're on your way to California? You panhandling? Baby girl, cut this guy off. Yes, sis. Yeah, they
don't have a head about them. They don't have people that they come to. They don't use the scriptures. And they're around the Bible, they don't apply the scriptures. I was thinking about them walking circumspectly as wise, not as fools. Because times are evil. A person that's not considering that and doing that is just going to be on their phones, walking in the street.
A sitting duck.
A victim.
Or you let a nutcase in your house. You let a maniac in your house. Or he put a tracking device on under your vehicle. And he's watching you from his house everywhere you go. And he knows when you're home. Because he got a little air tag following you. He said what?
But he was deceiving himself.
They said when people do this, when they praise the way they think, and they don't care to get alternative points of view. They don't care about having supervision. They don't value what the Most High has provided us with as having elders and teachers. He says they deceive themselves. Read on.
Without knowing it.
It said they would deceive themselves without even knowing it. That's where pride gets you. That's where arrogance gets you. You're deceiving yourself. You're putting yourself in danger. You don't even know it. Read on.
For the hopes of wicked men are unstable.
It says, for the hopes of wicked men are what?
Unstable.
The hopes of wicked men are unstable. Read on.
As they guess what is more favorable.
Because they're going off of what?
The guess.
They're going off of guess. They live life guessing. I think this guy will be okay. Oh,
guess.
This guy has a name. The stroke and choke killer. The choke and stroke killer. And you telling yourself, I think he's okay.
It's a crazy story, bro.
And all of them, not that you run into the killer, but so many much more are destroyers of women.
Very much so.
You know, And
They're abusers.
right, and you never know.
You never know it from the surface.
Us men know.
No, but all of us sometimes don't know
Right.
because a lot of things you don't see.
Not at first.
No, you need
Right.
time to see people's interior. But we looking from the surface, telling ourselves it's going to be okay. It's cool. We're just going to have a good time. I'll be right back. You're not coming back.
You don't get that though.
You know what I'm saying? But this is what people tell themselves. This is how people. It's what we tell ourselves. That's the problem. We got danger around us all the time. But who told you that it was okay? You did. Who told you was in a safe place? You did. Who told you not to examine that individual? You did. Who told you not to get a second, third, and fourth opinion? You did. Now you're a victim. Read.
For the hopes of wicked men are unstable, as they guess what is more favorable to them.
It says they're only guessing at what is more favorable to them. They go off guesses, man. You can't be going through a relationship, tying yourself with somebody based on a fallacious, foolish, elementary, uneducated, ignorant opinion that everything's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. You got to see people. You got to know people. And if you don't, you better bring them around some people. You want multiple eyes on that individual. You want people questioning that individual. And you also want to let that person know, hey, she's, you know how many, and this is just me personally, I hate to even say it. I beat up a lot of guys for my little sister. I fought girls and guys in elementary school for my little sister. I ain't let nobody touch, because you know I let them know, whatever you think that you're going to do to her, I'm going to do it to you. Now, I wasn't even no big dude. I wasn't even no big dude. I was a little dude. I was small. But you know what? I put my foot down. You're not gonna violate my little sister. That's what I had in my mind. I remember a dude pinched my little sister on the butt. She was getting up on the bus, and he was behind her. He pinched her on the butt. I pinched him on the butt. He said, "Man, what you doing?" I said, "I'm doing what you think you're doing. Whatever you thinking, I'm gonna do it to you." They no homo, but I had to let him know. Listen, brother, she's not alone.
Right.
She's not by herself, and you're not gonna play her like you think. It's not gonna go how you want it, and that's the beauty of having brothers. Also,
Yeah.
that's the beauty of having brothers. They might be a little tough, they might be a little overbearing, but you know what they're doing? They're watching you, and they're watching out for you. And the Most High elevate you into a church body to do the same thing. He said they only guess at what?
As they guess what is more favorable to them, while they suffer what is quite contrary.
It says, and they suffer the opposite outcome. They live a life taking a guess at people, and they suffer on the back end. So what does Philo say about it? Read.
As in fact they deserve.
Philo say they deserve it.
Oh my God, Philo's keeping it real.
He's keeping it 100. He said they deserve to suffer because they told themselves something that wasn't true. They hyped their own self up with their arrogance. They were living life on it based on their own pride. So he said that's what they get. I'm not even gonna say that, but he said it. He said this is what happens when you got an inflated ego and you don't want to get no help. You don't want to get no insight from nobody else. You only care about how you feel and what you think is right.
Well, I can't take a check.
That's heavy, man. The problem is, like I said, it's what people tell themselves what they think they know and they don't. Pull this up, Dawiat, if you can. Sade Robinson. For those that know, pull her up real quick and read her story real quick. 19-year-old girl.
Memphis?
Yeah, went out on a date with a 33-year-old man.
Wow. Maxwell Anderson charged in death and mutilation.
And what?
Death and mutilation.
This on the first date. They was at a seafood restaurant. They went on a date. Their first date was at a seafood restaurant. It's a white dude. It's a black girl, 19-year-old, going on a date with a 33-year-old white guy. Went to a seafood restaurant.
This is common. This is common. This is exhibition.
It's scary, man.
These reports keep popping up every like 6 months.
Read that.
When 19-year-old Sade Robinson didn't show up for her shift at Wisconsin Pizza Restaurant April 2nd, her co-workers immediately suspected something was wrong.
Because obviously she was a dedicated worker to the pizza joint. She was always at work. They knew so that's not like her. See, her friends knew that's not like her to not report, to not come in. That's not like her.
Her community.
Yeah, that's out of her character.
Yeah.
She had friends around her. She had individuals that know her. She wasn't that individual, but she should have took them friends with her on a date. Read?
The evening before, Robinson had planned a first date with Maxwell Anderson, 33, at a local seafood restaurant. According to a criminal complaint against Anderson, he is now facing charges of homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and arson in connection with Robinson's death. The young college student had been looking forward to the date, even telling a worker in her building how excited she was.
Man, she was excited. She was excited. She wanted to have fun. Going out, oh my God. She planned this. Did she see any danger coming? She told everybody about it. But you see what we're talking about is the safety that the body has when you put yourself around a community. We undermine the community. We undermine the camp. We undermine the church. We undermine having elders and brothers and sisters. We undermine and devalue what it means to have people that look out for you. That's always, hey, what's going on? You didn't show up. Hey, I called your phone, you didn't answer. Oh, I didn't want to be bothered. You don't know what it is. You playing games. Read.
She texted Anderson she was feeling seafood and headed out to meet him at a seafood restaurant where he used to work, wearing ripped jeans and a white shirt, according to the complaint. Robinson was a vibrant, extroverted, present,
outgoing, vibrant.
At the pizza shuttle, manager Justin Romano described her to CNN affiliate as very outgoing. She would talk to everyone here. She was always there to lighten the mood. Not showing up for work the next day wasn't like her at all. Romano, the manager on duty at the pizza shuttle, the day Robinson disappeared, it's like it. We kind of knew something was up. We had been calling her all day.
They said they was calling her all. They said we knew something wasn't right. We was calling her all day. I don't even want to read the rest of it. I don't even want to read the rest of it. We'll leave it at that. That's enough right there to understand.
You just count this.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It was spirit.
You don't even need to read it. But we know what happened in the end. She was independent. She went out by herself. She should have took some friends with her. It's a first date. You don't know this individual. Read this right here.
Dear Conte, go to 2 Timothy 3 and verse 1. And we'll jump to verse 6. The punchline. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and 1.
Actually, read down to the beginning of 3. Read that.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1.
Yep.
This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
And this is what he's talking about. The perilous times is you can't distrust anybody. You can't distrust that the person I'm looking at and analyzing is who they say they are.
Not this day and age.
Not this day, especially at this day and age. Read on.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Yep.
Covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents.
Because now the people that you're analyzing, you don't know what their background is, what their belief system is, what they value, what they think is right, what they think is what a good man's supposed to be. If they're disobedient to parents,
you expect them to have the same morals you have.
Exactly. Exactly. But they're disobedient to parents. They're lovers of themselves. They're covetous. They're boasters. They're proud. They're blasphemers of God. Read.
Unthankful.
Unappreciative. Read.
Unholy.
Just don't have no natural affection or fear of the Most High.
No consciousness. Their conscience been dead.
Exactly. Been sealed.
They got a dead conscience. They have no fear, and they have no guilt at what they do at all.
That's the hitter, right? And that's his part 3. Read this. Read part 3.
Verse 3. Without natural affection.
Because the natural affection would be that guilt of trespassing someone, doing someone wrong, afflicting them. A sociopath has no guilt. They have no sense of self-awareness of somebody else's feelings and emotions. But you wouldn't know until it's too late. So now to the verse 6.
Verse 6. For of this sort.
These type of people, these type of men in particular, read on.
Are they which creep into houses.
Are skilled enough. They're creeping is not. They're not sneaking into someone's house uninvited. They're creeping as I'm skilled enough to get into this woman, this foolish woman's house.
I can get close enough.
Exactly. Read on.
For this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women.
What type of women?
Silly women.
Foolish and silly women.
Or prideful, independent.
Yep.
Women that choose to look at authority as you're hindering me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't value the authority as looking at you're there to help me. You're there to you're trying to you're cramping my style. Why do I got to answer to sisters? Why I got to answer to brothers? Yeah, all you're doing is making yourself vulnerable. He said they leave captive silly women.
Silly women laden with sin, led away with diverse lusts.
And they do it off of what?
Diverse lust.
No, did it say that they was led away by the Spirit?
No.
Did it say they was led away by understanding?
No.
Or by the knowledge of the holy?
No.
It said they was led away by their what?
Diverse lusts.
By different lusts. It's what you tell yourself. That's going to be okay, and it's not okay.
Read on.
Well, yeah, read on.
Verse 7. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
Meaning they didn't allow themselves to learn and understand the Spirit enough to make the correct decision before they were taken away.
They didn't know what to watch out for.
Exactly.
They should have known red alert, mayday, mayday, maniac, maniac. They didn't see it.
Yeah.
Psalms 107, verse 17.
Psalms 107:17. Fools, because of their transgression.
It says, a fool, no wisdom, no counsel, no understanding, no knowledge, don't value elders, don't communicate, trust their own pride, believe their own praise, believe what they tell themselves. He says, they do what?
Fools, because of their transgression and because of their iniquities.
What happens?
Are afflicted.
It says you get afflicted by your own decisions.
That's why.
So when Philo said,
Yeah.
you deserve it, the Most High ain't pretty much saying something different. He's saying, it's your fault, it's on you. You brought this on yourself. You don't care about communication. You don't value a community. You don't value a body. You don't value instruction. Read on.
Verse 18. Their soul abhorreth all manner of meat.
And he says, he's telling you what the problem is.
Wow.
He says, you hate meat. Jeremiah 3:15. Hold it.
Okay.
Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you.
Hey, hold on. Who's supposed to be feeding you? Pastors. Pastors are supposed to be feeding you. He said, I'm going to give you pastors and what?
According to mine heart.
Go ahead.
Which shall feed you.
With what?
With knowledge and understanding.
So when the Most High said, the problem is, you hate the meat. What is the meat?
Understanding.
Discover knowledge and understanding.
Knowledge and understanding.
Knowledge and understanding that isn't yours, but that comes from the Bible. Because you hate, he said the problem is, the why they fall is because they hate the meat that the Most High set up the pastors and teachers to feed them with, which is knowledge and instruction. You hate correction. You hate people tell you when you're wrong. You hate when people don't agree with you. You hate when people tell you, hey, that's not a good decision. He said, read that part again.
God.
Not Jeremiah, but the other verse in Psalms.
Psalms chapter 107, verse 17. I'm sorry, 18. Their soul abhorred it.
Abhorred means to be detested. You hate when people correct you. You hate instruction. You hate when people tell you you're wrong. You hate when people tell you, no, you can't do that. That's not a good idea. He said their soul abhorreth, which means to detest what?
All manner of meat.
They're not vegetarians. He's not talking about vegetarians.
Not about diet.
He's not. It has nothing to do with diet. Oh, you just hate. I just hate beef. I just hate. Oh my God, I can't smell it. I can't smell meat. Chicken. Oh, throw up chicken. That's not. He's not talking about meat. He's talking about all the ways that pastors and teachers teach you. They're supposed to be instructing you from different angles, from sisters to brothers. You're supposed to be getting instructed and getting taught from every angle. Those are the meats that you're supposed to be getting, but you hate the meat. You hate when somebody telling you what's going on and telling you how to steer yourself in a better direction. You hate correction. That's the problem. You hate adjustment. You hate when somebody alters your schedule. You hate when somebody makes you feel uncomfortable. He said you hate all kind of meat. All the meat that deals with wisdom. All the meat that deals with instruction. Reproof. Correction. Read.
Middle of 18. And they draw near unto the gates of death.
And because you hate being told what to do, what do you get close to?
The gates of death.
Yeah, you didn't know you was dealing with the choke and stroke. You didn't know what you dealing with Sam Hain. Mr. McDowell. Mr. Little.
Never got caught.
Yeah, or Mr. Maxwell, the Edomite dude. You didn't know what you was dealing with. He said they said they get close to you knocking on the devil's door. Because you don't like instruction. Read on.
19. Then they cry unto the Lord.
See, sometimes the Most High you'll get a near miss. Where, man, you cry out to the Most High. Read on.
Then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble.
Read on.
And he saveth them out of their distresses.
And you know what? But Miss Shawty Robinson is too late. It's too late. And it's unfortunate. Because the Most High is not the one to just say, that's what you get. Philo said, hey, that's your fault. You deserve it. But the Most High said, okay, yeah, you did deserve it. But you know what? I got enough compassion to, even though you did put yourself in a stupid position, you put yourself in a foolish position, I'm going to still help you out and get you out of it if you cry to me. It could be a lesson.
Or not.
Ecclesiastes, last verse. Ecclesiastes chapter 26, verse 19.
People take their protection for granted.
Yep.
Gone. Ecclesiastes chapter 26 and verse 19.
Read that.
My son, keep the flower of thine age sound.
He said, make sure that you keep the flower of your age sound. You be mature in all your decisions. Read.
And give not thy strength to strangers.
He said, and do not give your strength to who?
To strangers.
Get the definition of stranger. In particular, number 2 and number 4.
Gone. Stranger, 1828, Webster's Dictionary. Point number 2. One of another town.
They said, oh, you trust this guy, but guess what? You trust this woman, but guess what? She's of another what?
One of another town.
She's out of towner. You like them far. You like to go fetch them far. where nobody could really get a bead on this individual. Nobody could really put eyes on this individual. You like him from a distance. So nobody can tell you no. Read?
One of another town, city, state, or province in the same country.
You like strangers. You like foreign. You like foreign. You like that foreign. You like foreign meat. You don't want regular. You don't want local. Farmed locally. You don't like that. Because you know why people do that? Because they don't want to be stopped. But you know what you get on the back end? Get the fourth definition.
God. Fourth definition of stranger. It says, one unacquainted.
And the only problem with that is, guess what? You're not very acquainted with this individual. You don't really know what's going on in this person's mind. You're trying to play big girl, big boy. You're trying to make big boy decisions. And you try to link up and think you know it all. You're not even realizing that the safety is in the multitude. The safety is in the body. But you like to play games. You like to have fun. You don't even know this individual. You have no idea what this person is thinking. How sick this person is. You're unacquainted with this individual. He says you don't give your strength to who?
One unacquainted.
Get acquainted so we know what that is.
God. Acquaint, 1828. Point number 2. It says, to inform, to communicate notice to.
You weren't fully informed of this individual. Nobody put you on notice. Nobody brought you up to speed to how severe and sick this mind is. You was going off your gut. You're telling yourself everything's going to be okay. You flattered yourself. You praised your own way of thinking. Read.
To acquaint oneself is to gain an intimate or particular knowledge of.
Jeffrey Dahmer had a job. That means he filled out an application. That means he knew how to read and write. Jeffrey Dahmer went to work. Jeffrey Dahmer paid bills. He had his own apartment. He had his own place. He paid bills. He knew how to pay bills. He knew how to keep rent going. He knew how to pay the water. He knew how to pay the electricity. Jeffrey Dahmer used to go to the club. So he might have knew how to dance.
They don't say that, but it's probably true.
Majority of all his victims came from the club. So he wasn't just standing there.
Nah, socialize.
Yeah, he knew how to get somebody's attention. He knew how to fish in the club.
It's funny.
He knew how to say something. He knew how to say the right thing.
Charming, yeah.
But what you didn't know is that he was going to take your head in his backpack to work and put it in his locker. And then put your organs in his deep freezer. And then pass your body parts out to the neighbors for lunch meat. It's what you didn't know. But he did. He had a job. He went to work. He hit the club. You would think, hey, that's a regular guy. That's like all the guys I know.
He's all right.
He's all right. He's one of us. He ain't one of us. Yes, sir.
Getting a lot out of it. It's not just for women, but it's for men.
It's for men too.
I don't give a damn how much you think you can defend yourself. You alone, it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And I just want to say, I used to study a lot of serial killers. And Henry Lucas, I don't know, y'all might have been very young, but Henry Lucas had 205 murders. Y'all were very young.
Well, the internet don't say that. The internet say Samuel Little had the most.
Really?
Yes.
You got to look up Henry Lucas.
Okay. Well,
the I-35 killer that killed.
Well, you know, you got the Golden Gate Bridge killer.
So many of them.
You got the 22 caliber killer. That was only killed black folks.
Only killed black folks.
You know what I'm saying? You got the shooters that was in No, the shooters that was shooting out
The son.
the son and the father duo that was shooting people. The sniper, the DC sniper, popping people. They was for them. It was anybody, women, kids. It didn't matter. Anybody standing outside. They had the whole nation state on lockdown. DC was on lockdown.
Yeah, I was there.
The clown,
Yeah.
The clown man. What was the one that dressed up like
Beltway sniper.
No.
John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, but you got maniacs in the world. But you got maniacs that can sustain themselves in regular life,
Down the street.
and you think they're normal.
Well, down the street, this girl was in the ditch. They never found who did it. This is only like what, about
Last year.
10? This is last year, 10 months ago.
And then in the wilderness. Where you
Yeah.
live, right?
No, not where I live, bro. No, sir. No. There's lots of people that be. Listen, bro. I'm talking about by the school.
He's talking about literally walking
I
distance.
tell people all the time about Devil's Den. I tell them all the time they don't want to listen. They want to walk back there.
That's
No
what it is.
reason.
I'm not saying
There's devil worshippers back there. This all the news is documented. They want to keep going back if they want to. We've been told us a million times. I'm about last year, by the gas station, by the Circle K, there was a girl, 17 years old, found in a ditch. She got snuck out the house. He snuck out. All she did was sneak out.
Yeah.
Snuck out the house to meet somebody. And nobody.
You know the problem. Say it again.
We went to the graduation for one of our kids because they went to the school with her. It was her and her sister that also died too.
Wow.
They walked across the stage with both of their sisters.
Wow.
So two of them.
Yeah, it was the sister. It was the girl that they found in the ditch by the school, the new school.
Yeah.
Children. And then her sister also died.
Man, come on, man. But you know what? 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 4 and 5.
Supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying?
1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 4 and 5.
That's not where I was.
Mm-mm.
I was in 17.
First,
No.
First Timothy 4, chapter 4 and verse 5.
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5 and verse.
Mm-hmm.
What verse is it?
We're going to go 1 Timothy chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 4.
Come on. First Timothy chapter 5 and verse 4. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home.
It says that's why you gotta restrict children to the house first. You gotta restrict them and teach them and induct them with as much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as possible at home. And reverence to the Most High at home. Fear the Most High at home. Read on.
And to requite their parents.
And respect their parents. Go ahead.
For that is good and acceptable before the Most High.
Because when you're in violation of your parents and you're without that fear, and then you get cast out of the house, or you tell yourself, I don't need to live here, I can live on my own, and you're a little too young to be out there in them streets, you're exposing yourself to danger. You're exposing yourself to becoming vulnerable and a victim. Read on.
Verse 5. Now she that is a widow indeed, and desolate, trusteth in the Most High.
Read.
And continueth in supplications.
It says so, and this is a message to a widow, which means she's basically single. A single woman with kids. He says you continue in what?
Supplications and prayers.
It says you continue in, you become a prayer warrior. You be praying your butt off. You're a single parent. You got to pray for your children that they don't get exposed to the wickedness that's in this world. He says you tend to the Most High with prayer and supplication. Go ahead.
Night and day.
It says you make sure you give time. You got children that are of meritable age and getting ready to get out in this world. You should be praying night and day for your children. Day and night. That the Most High protect them and not get exposed through their pride or their ignorance. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. But the younger widows refuse.
He says you got to keep the young women in check. You got to keep them in check. Read on.
For when they have begun to wax wanton.
Because when they get thirsty, or they start operating in their lust, read on.
against Christ.
It says their behavior turns against Christ. Read on.
They will marry.
It said they're going to start hooking up. They're going to start burning and they're going to start hooking up. But there's a problem with hooking up too soon. Read on.
Having damnation.
Why?
Because they have cast off their first faith.
Because who should they have married first?
Christ.
Christ. Before a woman ever gets married, she should marry Christ first. Before a man ever gets married, he should marry Christ first. And if they haven't married Christ first, then they ain't gonna be good in what they're doing. They're not gonna pick the right individual. They're not gonna have the right wisdom. They're setting themselves up for failure. These are their first faith. Their first husband should be Christ. And that's what we pushing everybody that's young, that's starting to put themselves and spread their wings and get out there in the world. Marry Christ first. Then go look for somebody else. Finish that?
Verse 13. And withal they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers, also and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not. I will therefore that the younger women marry.
They said if you're going to be like that, you might as well get married instead of being a busybody. If you can't contain yourself, read on.
Bear children.
Get some kids. Go ahead.
Guide the house.
Stay in the house.
Give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
Because Satan is always trying to turn the Most High against you. Always. He's always trying to get you in violation with the Most High. Do we not remember when Satan told the Most High? He says, does Job love you for naught? He said, why don't you release my hand, release your hand, and let me touch him, and he'll curse you to your face. He's always trying to get the Most High to stand against you. You give the devil no reason, no ammunition to cause the Most High to come against you and your kids. Teach them to marry Christ first. Then focus on all that relationship. All that's going to come in due time. But at least they'll have the wisdom and understanding necessary to pick and choose and understand what they're looking at before they attach themselves with somebody. And with that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
All right? Yes, sir.
Is that not what all these movies is about? The little white girl that bucks up against the parents, going from house to house, going here, going here,
Couch surfers.
and wind up getting into serial killing. That's most of the main movies.
Right, but it ain't just the women. It's the couch surfing guys, too.
Ah,
Guys are unstable teenagers. Yeah, and they're vulnerable also.
bro.
Hey.
Look at
Shalom, Israel. Good to see everybody. We'll be back in action on Friday. Shalom.
Shalom.